Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Once again, I'm still at home. I'll get back in the office tomorrow. I didn't feel like packing up everything and getting back there. But I'll try to make sure I'm there in the morning. I don't really like doing this at home anymore, but here it is. Look, I'm going to be as quick as I possibly can with this morning. I'm hoping that I can give you something that will really truly help you understand ways that you can move and change certain situations in your life. I want to real briefly let you know that we have extended the Labor Day special offer, which is the One You Love offer, which means anything in the description box when you register for it, when you purchase it or whatever, you're going to get an additional one at no additional price, all the way up to whatever's offers in there. And I think there's even a free upgrade for the platinum package, which is or was my flagship package until this month. There's a new package that I'll be talking about more about that is now the flagship, but the platinum is still probably going to be the premium where most people end up. But here, anytime, anything you get will be doubled. I guess is the quickest and easiest way to say that. And it's that way so that you can gift one to the one you love, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your offspring, whether it's your best friend, somebody you want to take a journey with, someone you want to improve with, someone that you want to share this or have hold you accountable. This is an opportunity to do this. I try to do it at least once or twice a year. Definitely do it around this time, and I may do it during the holidays. I'm not sure, but the One You Love event is a part of the Labor Day thing. So here you are. This is an opportunity for you to work with me. This is an opportunity for you to advance yourself. This is an opportunity to attend the Manifest Greatness event on the 17th of this month and invite someone along at no additional choice to join you. Or you can choose to work with me and have an additional package given that you can give to someone else. Or maybe you're selfish and you want to take that additional one and double it up and work with me like that. That's on you. But the spirit of it is for you to give it to someone else and share the journey. Now, with that being said, let's talk. People come, and one of the things that I ask when I start to work with a person, one of the questions in the questionnaire is, what do you want to change? The second question is, have you tried to change it? What have you tried? Are three questions that are in almost every questionnaire, no matter what we're going on. And most people are going to tell you what they've changed. Most people are going to tell you they've tried. Most people will tell you how they've tried, and they've tried all the things that they've seen, they've read, and nothing's happening. And so they're frustrated with why. And what I want to do is I want to give you a brief insight into why you may be struggling in changing things. And in it is also the solution and why I have been as successful as I have in working with people and getting them to really change. So let's start off with an understanding first and foremost. Your reality is the sum total of your thoughts. What you are living right now is based off of thoughts you've had in the past. Your thoughts are a reflection of your beliefs. Your thoughts will focus on what you believe is possible, what you believe is not possible. And you form these beliefs. And in the process of forming these beliefs, you live your life based off of these beliefs. No one has strong beliefs and then moves and operates consistently outside of the beliefs. The way people maintain their sanity is they operate within the spectrum of what they believe possible for them, and they stay away from things they believe to be impossible or harmful to them. And so these beliefs are going to govern you. The problem with most people are functioning with limiting beliefs about what's possible in their life. Their environment, the people they're around, their label givers gave them ideas and paradigms through which they view life. And they have in turn developed real beliefs that create real thoughts, that create real speech and habits. And these habits of behavior and these speeches reinforce the idea and produce the results that that's directly in correlation with the behavior. So if I have a belief and the belief gives me a behavior that produces a certain result, if I don't change the belief, I consistently get the result. But where does it start? It starts with the thought processes. And so what you have to realize is, first and foremost, let's say we see the brain as your computer hard drive. We're talking about the brain and the mind. The brain is the hard drive. The brain is the part that is there to process the programming. The mind is the part of the program. You have the subconscious mind, you have the analytical mind, and you have the conscious mind. And you can call it a bunch of other things. Some people talk about the unconscious mind and all that, but we're going to keep it real simple. You have the conscious mind. That's the thing where you're actually thinking and you're saying, this is what I want for my life. Then you have the analytical mind and the subconscious mind. Well, the analytical mind, it's what's processing what the conscious mind is saying and determine whether or not it's going to allow certain thoughts and ideas to get into. Now, the analytical mind is consulting the subconscious mind, which controls about 95 to 96% of your total behavior. As a matter of fact, by the time you're 35, 95% of your behavior will be based off of past experiences, situations, ideas, thoughts. Everything you've lived up until that point has created 95% of your behavior is on autopilot. You're just living life and you're not even thinking about 95 to 96% of what you're doing is on autopilot. You're just doing it over and over again. And so if you've developed bad habits, bad thoughts, bad beliefs, limiting beliefs, you're going to be almost anchored in it, but it's not stuck. Anchor is not stuck. The anchor can be lifted, the anchor can be released. And what you have to do is understand the way that you do that. Well, the problem with the brain is a record of the past. That's all the brain is. The brain can never give you anything that it has not already encountered or experienced. So the brain is a record of the past. Your emotions, which play a major role in this that no one talks about when they talk about the mind, because they see them as being distinct and disconnected, but they are distinct but not disconnected. They are interacting and they influence one another. So the brain is the record of the past. Your emotions are the products or the end result of past experiences. So when you have when you consult your brain about the past, there's going to be an emotion attached to the memory. And if it's a bad memory, it's going to be a negative emotion. Well, these emotions are strong. The emotions are literally what anchor you. What a lot of people don't realize is we don't just experience life in our mind. We experience life in our entire body. We experience trauma in our body. We experience victory and celebration in our body. When our brains experience something negative or positive, it secretes hormones that creates that are directly in relation to the emotions that we're experiencing. If we're experiencing a great something exciting, something joyful, we're probably going to get serotonin and dopamine. It's going to make us feel good. On the flip side, we can have cortisol and a bunch of other things in the bloodstream that's about stress and other things, and it's going to create a negative experience. When you have cortisol in your body, it does not create a positive experience or a positive feeling. A lot of times what you're saying, I really don't feel good, it's stress, and it's literally active in the body and it experienced in the body. And the fact is, once we become habitually connected to an emotion or habitually addicted to emotion, that emotion governs us. We move accordingly. We act. Here's the problem with a lot of people who are experiencing negativity over and over and over again is that you become addicted to the negative emotion and you consistently consult your brain, which is a record of the past, asking permission or insight into how you should move in the future. The problem with the brain is it's only a record of the past. It cannot give you anything. And the beauty of your mind is that you have the capacity within the mind to do something that the brain cannot do on its own. Now, the brain can be programmed by the mind to do something that it has not physiologically experienced through the imagination. This is the power of it. You can literally introduce emotions that you have not yet experienced into the reality. Why? Because if you can make yourself present enough in your imagination, if you can meditate. This is why meditation is so important, to know thyself, to know or have an awareness of self. That's what meditation is. But when you sit up and you are able to create an image in your mind that you have not experienced, but you desire to experience, and you can do it with great specificity and make yourself present, meaning that you're so present you can feel it. The brain cannot determine the difference between two. Neither can the subconscious mind. It cannot determine the difference between the reality, the three-dimensional reality of it happening and the imagination of it happening. It cannot distinguish it. So you literally can create emotions. You can literally create a reality that now you can relate to. So now you can literally consult the brain and actually have something positive to refer to that's not yet come in the third dimension, and you can move toward it. People used to always ask me, man, what you're going through right now, how is it that you are always smiling? You've always got this positive mindset. I said, what you don't understand is while you're observing where I'm at and what I'm going through, I'm literally at the very moment living in where I'm going to be. I'm living in the outcome of my persistence. I'm living in the outcome of my resilience. I'm living in the outcome of my ability to imagine and create a new reality based off of what I desire for my life, not what I'm going through, not what I've been through. What I've been through and what I'm going through have no bearing on where I'm going. If I decide I'm going higher, it doesn't matter how low I've been. It doesn't matter where I come from. It doesn't matter if I'm talking wealth. It doesn't matter that I came from poverty. I'm looking into the future, and I can design and desire something and create it in my imagination. And it can be so powerful that it triggers an emotion that anchors that belief, that desire, that image. And now that image becomes what I'm focused on. It also creates the right type of environment, because remember, your thoughts at its purest state is consciousness. But as your thoughts create and manifest things, they become energy. That energy forms into matter. And you actually start to bring things into focus. That's the power of the mind to create things. Everything that you're living now, you created through your thoughts. Now, you didn't create the person in your way, or the person that's doing this or that to you. But I guarantee you created the energy that attracted them. You created the energy that allowed them in. You created the environment that made it safe for them to come in and do what they're doing negatively. And you just as easily have the right to change the environment. You change the environment by, first of all, excusing yourself from the past. Stop consulting your past about what's possible for your future. Because if you're looking to do something different, you can't consult what you've always, when people tell me, I tried that, but it just didn't feel right. What they're telling me is it didn't feel familiar. They didn't recognize it. Their body didn't recognize it. Anytime you move into something that you're not familiar with, you're going to get an uneasy feeling in your body. That's because your body doesn't recognize the experience. It can be a good experience, and your body will tell you something's not right about it, and you'll back off of it. It can be the thing you've always talked about having, and you will literally convince yourself that it's not something you're supposed to have because it doesn't feel right. No, it doesn't feel familiar. You're moving in uncharted territory. But if you're going to do something different in your life, you're going to have to move in uncharted territory. It's that simple. So how do you do that? You sit up and you get a clear image. And I'm giving you the very short version of what's possible. What I want to be able to have you do is understand that you can start small with this. You can sit up and say, you know what? For 5 minutes today, I'm not going to be in my current reality, and I'm not going to consult my past. I am going to literally think about what I desire for the future, and I'm going to focus on it, and I'm going to get so into it that I experience it. The moment I experience it, it becomes reality in my mind. It becomes reality as a part of my brain. My brain cannot tell the difference. I've now created a memory of something that never actually happened, but now I can consult it. That's the power of imagination. That's how we get things that never existed into our world. That's how we go from a world where everybody's walking around to a world where people are on carriages, to a world that people are driving, to a world that people are flying, to a world that people are talking on phones with no wires connected to them, to people on the other side of the world, to where people are literally watching me on this video. It all came from somebody sitting up and saying something doesn't exist, but I think it should. And everyone has that ability to create and change what's going on, but you've got to desire to change it, and you've got to put in the work, because this is what's happening. The way you think is a part of your programming. That you're having 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and about 90 to 95% of those are the same thoughts as the ones yesterday, and you're just recycling the same thoughts over and over again. How is it that you think that there's going to be a massive shift in what you're doing, what you're experiencing? If your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny, if your thoughts are the things that guide you towards something new, something different, or the same thing, if they're creating your reality and you're having the same thoughts every day, how do you expect to change your life? You got to change the programming. How do you change the programming? You expose yourself to different thinking. You become consciously aware. It's called metacognition. Metacognition is an awareness of the subconscious thoughts moving through your mind. Not a specific awareness of each thought, but awareness that they're there. Why? Because if I'm there, they cannot take over because I know they're there. It's a weird thing, but when you're not thinking about all these things going on under the subconscious, they are more likely to be in control. Your conscious mind isn't, they are. The more you are sitting up and succumbing to situations that you're in, the more you're succumbing to the natural programming or the current programming that exists. And that programming is what has produced the life that you're currently living. So then what do you do to change it? You got to change the programming. What does that mean? You got to put yourself in states of mind that you're able to bypass the analytical mind or the filter of the mind. The reticular activating system, the thing that is determining what you give power and validity and priority to, you've got to be able to bypass that. You've got to be able to bypass it. Why? Because your subconscious is what? The collective of all of your experiences that create these beliefs that guide and control 96% of your behavior. That's why you can sit up and say, in your conscious mind, I want to change this. I want to be better. I want to be healthy. I want to be more wealthy. I want to be more responsible with the way I spend money, on and on and on. And yet you end up with the same results each and every year. Is because you set it on a conscious level. Your conscious is only about 3 to 4%, well, 4 to 5% of your total behavior, your total. That's why willpower alone never works. Why? Because your consciousness only controls about 5%. Willpower works as long as you can constantly remain. But most of your movements and decisions and responses to life are actually happening from a subconscious impulse. I'm gonna give you a prime example of how powerful the subconscious is. You're driving home. You drive home every day. You know it like the back of your hand. But you get on a phone call. It's an intense phone call. It's something about a deal that's going down, or it's something about you've been waiting on and you need it to happen, and you're on the phone, and then somebody cuts you off, and now you're worried about the person that cut you off, and now you're on the phone, and you're going through all these things, and your mind's going 100 miles an hour. Next thing you know, you pull into the driveway. You have no memory of the last 10 minutes of that drive, and you're asking yourself, did I stop at the light? Did I stop at the stop sign? Yes, you did all that things because your subconscious knew to do it. It didn't need your permission. It didn't ask you to be consciously aware of it. It simply did it. You do that with almost everything you do every day. You're operating from your subconscious. Now, on that note, you can have a breakthrough mentally by simply understanding the power to change it. Now, there's a way to really expedite this. Number one, everybody talks about meditation, but meditation is a process that gets better as you practice it. You become more aware. What happens in meditation? You're able to move into a state where you're changing brain waves. You're slowing brain waves down and you're moving from a beta state to a theta state, which is the place you want to be. Why? Theta is where the brain is programmed. Children up until the age of 5 to 7 are almost always on theta. They are absorbing, they're developing paradigms, they're developing understanding, they're developing the subconscious awareness of how they're going to move in life, what they can do, what they can't do. They're socializing to the world around them and so much more in theta. And then after 5 and 7, they start to spend less time in theta and they start to operate off of the constructs and the paradigms that were created up until that age. Now, we used to believe that pretty much everything after that point was pretty much hardwired and wouldn't change. Here's the thing is we discovered neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means that we can literally create new neurons that fire in the brain that create new ideas, new beliefs, new constructs. We can literally create and rewire and old constructs and synaptic connections that connect these thoughts can dissipate over time when they're not actively engaged. Remember, I always say, whatever you focus on, you feel. So whatever you focus on, you feel, then you don't want to be focusing on the negative. You don't want to be consulting your negative past. You want to be creating a future. Well, how do you do that? You can write it down constantly. Vision boards are extremely powerful because the subconscious mind sees them even when your conscious mind isn't paying attention to them. They are very powerful. Put them in a place where you see them often. Another thing is right before you go to bed at night, wind down, get headphones that have a repetition of the things that you want the subconscious mind to take in and start to believe. Now, why is it important? Because as you fall off to sleep, you go from beta to theta before you hit delta, which is deep sleep. You in this theta place, you're not totally unconscious, but you are no longer being governed by the conscious or the analytical mind. What does that mean? There's no filter to say, hey, this can't be true. So you can put some very powerful ideas into your subconscious that your conscious or your analytical mind may reject. And so this is a very powerful state. You can also do this in meditation. Again, meditation takes a little while longer to master, but you start out 5 minutes. Find a breathing technique that works for you. Find a meditation technique that's works. But what you're trying to do is clear yourself from all external stimulation, no sounds, or if it's a sound, you control the sound. So you can get ambient music that doesn't have major shifts and changes that get your attention, but allow you to escape the white noise and the outer noise. You know, if you got cars driving by or you whatever, try to get away from smell. So don't put your powder coffee on until you do this, because that sensory will trigger thoughts. You want as few external sensory mechanisms or stimulants as possible. And you go off into this place where you literally can visit ideas about the things you desire for your life, and you visit them consistently. You create emotions. These emotions become real, whether the experience is real or not. The emotion becomes real because the brain and the mind and the body does not have the ability to distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. This is the great place where you create your new change, your new reality. And this is what I do with my clients is I do this with them in a way that they don't know. That's why it works. I'm constantly saying things through our discussions, through our examinations, through our encounters that is in opposition to the old beliefs, but in a way that they're not really picking up on. Or if they hear it, they're going like, I don't know how he thinks that, but it's not something they're getting a lot of attention to because I'm not asking them to receive it. I'm not asking them to believe it. I'm just talking about it. And I'm talking about it consistently. And then it gets to a point where it's heard enough that it is now in direct opposition to beliefs, but it's in a position of power. Why? Because it's been constantly planted. It's a seed that's been nurtured for time. And now all of a sudden it's ready to be birthed and it's ready to come out and blossom. And now all we have to do is allow it to do that. And there is absolutely nothing you cannot accomplish with your mind. If you can conceive it in your mind, it's God's evidence that it's possible, but you have to pursue it. You have to go after it. You have to stand in it. You have to believe it. With that being said, look, I am going to end this and get off again. Today is the last day for those specials. The one you love special. Look, if you're looking to work with me, you're looking to take advantage of a program, this is a good time to do it because not only can you get it at a discounted price, the platinum package is like mad sick. You can get the platinum package for the price of the bronze package and get a free platinum package to give to someone else. And that's only for today. And like I said, I would love to work with people and show them how to put this in practice. And this alone is so powerful and changing. Yes, strategies are good. Plans are good. Having an understanding of where you're going, all that stuff is good. But if you can get this down, there are no limits to what you can do in your life. There are no limits to what you can change. It's a process of just going through it. It's not a magic potion. It's not a flip switch. So it's not going to happen overnight, but you will automatically, you will instinctively begin to see the changes. You will be able to see how things are working in your life. I would love to work with people who want to see this happen, and the opportunity, whatever you do, be aware of what I shared with you. And I'm going to consistently come back and share more of this with you over the course of this week, because I really want you to get the power of what's in front of you and what you have in the way of thinking. What program are you running is what you should be asking yourself, because your mind is the most powerful supercomputer on the planet. Your brain is the hardware, but the mind is the software. The mind is what you're doing. Your self-talk is the programming. What are you saying to yourself consistently because you're reinforcing something? Be very careful of how you talk to yourself about yourself. And on that note, look, I'm going to get ready to get out here. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. On that note, I'm challenging you to rise up and do unbelievable things, extraordinary things, phenomenal things. Why? Because you were not designed for mediocrity. You were not designed to be average. You were not designed just to simply exist and survive. When you're in survival mode, that's emotional stress, constant emotional stress that's attacking the body. That's literally attacking your long-term health. We're going to get into all of those different elements and components over the course of the week. I really want you to understand the power of your mind, not only to change your situations, but also to heal. We're going to talk about epigenetics and its impact on your health, both negative and positive. Most people, when they have the conversation, we only talk about the negative, like the trauma impact, adverse childhood experiences, and long-term implications as far as physiological health. But that's the flip side of that. When you create the right environment, epigenetically, it influences and turns on and upregulates genes that lead to proper cleansing and detoxification and health. And we're going to talk about all those things, how people are literally healing themselves with their mind. And this is things that I do with my clients. I'm telling you, there are some extraordinary things happening, and we're not aware of it because there's no profit in it for a lot of people who are eating off of our dysfunction, our sicknesses, our illnesses, and our lack of economic power. I'm going to do the best I can to share with you to help you escape it. And it's up to you to make the moves. Again, if you want to work with me and you want to take advantage of a mad, crazy opportunity, the links are in the description box. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day. May God